Things looked a little different at today's House meeting, and it wasn't just at PUP. All 26 elected members are now on the government side of the chamber. The National Assembly needed to be reconfigured to be fit for a pandemic. Inside the chambers resembled the inside of a bank, with the area reps behind plexiglass cubicles. Since PUP won 26 out of 31 seats, their area needed to be extended to 4 rows, including an impossibly cramped third row, and now an upper bench where the visitors' gallery used to be. The new arrangement, while odd in some ways, allows social distance and barriers, while accommodating 26 adults on one side of a small room. On the opposition side, the 5 members were properly spaced in the front row. Another change is the new Speaker of the House. Valerie Woods replaces Laura Tucker Longzard, and she began the meeting by noting the changes and how the effects of COVID-19 have impacted society, and even this chamber is no exception to that.
We are still locked in the grip of the COVID pandemic, and sadly, it has claimed the life of a member-elect even before he could be sworn in. And even as I speak, one honorable member is quarantined, having tested positive for it. We of course wish him a full and speedy recovery. The staff and I have put in place necessary measures, as is evident with the configuration of today's sitting, to conduct this first meeting with health, safety as the priority.
And it was the Ministry of Health and Wellness who advised the Speaker on the best way forward. According to Principal Public Health Inspector John Bowden, they were approached in December to give their technical guidance, and he told us more about how they envisioned the new setup.
In terms of what we were doing, we looked at the basic public health measures, the implementation of those to ensure that the area was safe. Of course, as part of the protocol, the use of masks, which is mandated, the social distancing, and of course, sanitization. So those were 3 components. But beyond that, we also looked at a 4th component, which is actually barrier prevention. If you notice that in the house, it's a little bit small, and so people now have new positions in terms of location. And what we try to do is to establish a safety bubble whereby they are confined within a given area by plexiglass. If there is any sort of droplet spread, it will be contained within the specific area where they are seated.
It might be more cost-effective to, instead of purchasing 50 sheets of plexiglass, only purchase 31 face shields. But as Bowden pointed out, face shields are not the strongest line of defense.
Many people are looking at face shield, but from some publications, scientific journals that were doing some research, they find out that the droplets actually goes around the mask, so it actually escapes. So that would not necessarily be one of the best strategy in terms of moving forward and ensuring that the environment is safe. And that's the reason why we ask that they wear masks. And if they would not wear masks, then they need to go into the chamber. You notice the glass chamber that was at the door. If you're not wearing a mask, you must go in there because we want to contain it. But if you're not wearing a mask and you're speaking, obviously the droplets can spread. And of course, we're using artificial ventilation in the room, and so that which is the AC, and that can take it around, and definitely the spread increases if you do that.
But while the House may have gotten a makeover, it's still the same old bickering between the government and the opposition party. It came to a head when both the UDP leader, Patrick Faber, and the Prime Minister, John Briceño, engaged in a back-and-forth argument.
Where on the standing orders do you have that? You are not making a point of order. You need to make a point of order first, Leader of Opposition.
Madam Speaker,
what is your point of order?
We have a right. Could you?
Is it that I must refer to the UK parliamentary term of insisting that we have order? This is unacceptable. There can never be 2 members standing at the same time. I should not have to raise my voice to get attention. And this certainly should not occur on the first sitting.
Courtney Menzies, 7 News.